Taos translates to place of red willows and is where three cultures have shared land, water, and traditions for centuries. A new book, Taos, A Topical History, hopes to deepen our appreciation of the town's rich history. And we are learning more today from Ernestina Cordova, president of the Taos County Historical Society, and program chair Paul Figueroa. Thank you for joining us.
It's our pleasure.
Very excited to talk about this book, one of my favorite places in New Mexico, hands down. So this book has been a labor of love for the Taos County Historical Society. So let's talk a little bit about this and find out first what a topical history is.
Well, the topical history, well, when it first came about back in 1997, when the challenge was proposed to the board of directors to do something for the millennium, to create a book. At that point, the enthusiasm was such that they were going to do a chronological type of, from this era to this. And then after they started getting the authors, well, different topics, why, that's when it became, it was a kind of like a scope of sequential events that led it to be a topical history where they chose the different topics.
Well, that must have been kind of tough. So let's talk a little bit about this challenging process of whittling down all the photos, all the stories of Taos. What was that process like?
It was a challenge for the board, and I'm recently arrived in Taos, so this book has helped me understand more about Taos history. But Ernestina was there from the beginning, and it was a very complicated process. On the drive down today, I learned that there were over 36 manuscripts submitted.
No kidding. Wow.
So there was a lot of review, selection, editing, fundraising for this book. It's an all-volunteer organization. And then securing a publisher. Museum of New Mexico Press is our publisher.
Okay.
So it was indeed a labor of love.
I bet it was, yeah.
17 years in the making, and if you want to really know the acknowledgments for all that was involved, Karina Santastevan did a great, eloquent, and concise acknowledgement at the book.
Yeah, these are great photos here. I mean, I can't imagine the process. So why, in your opinion, why is this book so important?
Well, in the 1950s, Chad, Frank Waters, one of the great authors of New Mexico history and Southwest history, observed that for a tiny hinterland community that's never heard the whistle of a train, Taos has had an impact that's only been exceeded by a few metropolitan communities. That's a great summation from a great person.
Yeah,
and then when we look and see that the last time a history was written on Taos was 80 years ago.
Really?
Blanche Grant, when old trails were new. So
oh my goodness.
This is really long overdue, much anticipated. And we're just so excited that we can celebrate this new book that presents 28 authors, new research, correct history in some instances, multiple perspectives. And then, as Ernestina said, in topical arrangement, you can go to a section of the book and read what interests you first.
Well, Ernestina, what was your favorite part of this process in creating this book?
Well, we used to meet almost every Wednesday. We had a book committee, so interesting in the editing and the re-editing. We had, of course, Karina Santastevan, which was the whole book itself, because she was there the whole 17 years. Was just to be there and listen to what they had to say, and interesting, and they'd read something and we knew it wasn't correct, so they have to go back to the author and just to make everything
well, I think that's so magical of being able to share that oral history with each other, and sharing that. To me, that's one of the beautiful things of New Mexico is the history of tradition that we have, and being able to share that has to be such a magical experience. Now tell us more about what the Historical Society is doing to preserve this history of Taos.
Well, we do a lot of things in preserving, and one of the things that we just did I did. We got a grant through the New Mexico Archives, and that's to preserve. We had over 200 oral in cassettes interviews from the different people. We had. We have like Ernest Blumenschein, 1952. Their recordings, and so we got them digitized from. Cassettes over to we got them digitized.
digital.
So
That's great.
now we have them available, you know, and they're preserved. So
Which is important, you know, tape wears out over time. So yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
yes.
Well, so now I think this is great. There's a free reception coming up and a book signing this Friday. So what are the details on this?
This Friday, 4 to 7, Ure Myers, a historical figure in Taos' history. His parents, by the way, opened the first trading post in
Oh, wow.
Taos.
No kidding.
So Ure is an artist. He's opened up the Spirit Runner Gallery, 303 Paseo del Pueblo Norte, 4 to 6. We'll stay till 7. It's a free reception,
there,
light
yeah.
refreshments. Authors will be there for the book signing.
That's great. And if we can't make it there, how else can we pick up a copy of this book?
You can go online to our website to get information on purchasing it. And we're also working with other groups in Taos to invite people up to that great spot in northern New Mexico. So November 29th, Taos Folks opens a show at the Stables Gallery. We'll have books available there.
Right.
We have our holiday luncheon coming up December the 8th.
Great.
So
lots of opportunities to pick it up.
we sold over 300
Books already.
books the first day.
Great. Well, that's fantastic, guys. Thank you
So
so much.
thank
I
you.
can't wait to dive into this book.
Oh.